The Myrtles Plantation, nestled in St. Francisville, Louisiana, is widely regarded as one of America's most haunted homes. With its rich history dating back to the late 18th century, the plantation has been the subject of numerous ghost stories and paranormal investigations. Its mystique and legends draw thousands of visitors each year, all eager to experience the eerie atmosphere of this Southern Gothic mansion. The Myrtles Plantation has a history as rich and complex as the legends that surround it, deeply intertwined with the cultural and historical fabric of the American South. Founded during a turbulent era of political unrest and economic growth, the plantation has witnessed war, prosperity, personal tragedies, and mysterious deaths. To fully understand the allure of Myrtles Plantation as a haunted location, it's essential to explore its roots and the notable figures who shaped its legacy. The story of the Myrtles Plantation begins with General David Bradford, an influential figure in early American history. Born in Pennsylvania in 1760, Bradford became a successful lawyer and businessman, eventually rising to prominence during the Whiskey Rebellion of the 1790s. This rebellion was sparked by a federal excise tax on distilled spirits, which angered many frontier farmers who relied on whiskey production. Bradford, a leading voice in the resistance, found himself at the center of the conflict, eventually being charged with treason by the federal government. Facing arrest and fearing for his life, Bradford fled Pennsylvania in 1794, seeking refuge in what was then Spanish-controlled Louisiana. It was here, on the banks of the Mississippi River in St. Francisville, that Bradford established a new life and began the construction of what would become Myrtles Plantation. He called it Laurel Grove and built the estate on a tract of 600 acres, creating a thriving cotton and indigo plantation. For several years, Bradford lived in relative isolation as a fugitive from American law. However, in 1799, President John Adams granted him a full pardon for his role in the rebellion, allowing Bradford to reunite with his family and bring them to Louisiana. With his wife Elizabeth and their 5 children, Bradford continued to expand the plantation and established himself as a respected member of the St. Francisville community. Following David Bradford's death in 1808, the plantation passed to his daughter, Sarah Matilda Bradford, and her husband, Judge Clark Woodruff, a prominent attorney and businessman. The Woodruff era was a time of growth for the plantation, but it was also during this period that many of the most tragic and chilling stories associated with Myrtles began to take root. Judge Woodruff, known for his intelligence and legal acumen, became an influential figure in Louisiana's political and social circles. He is credited with expanding the plantation, cultivating it into one of the most prosperous estates in the region. The couple had 3 children together, Cornelia Gale, James, and Mary Octavia. However, the family's success was overshadowed by a series of personal tragedies. The most infamous legend tied to this era involves Chloe, an enslaved woman who worked in the Woodruff household. While historical evidence of Chloe's existence remains inconclusive, the story endures as a central part of the plantation's haunted reputation. According to various versions of the tale, Chloe was either caught eavesdropping on the Woodruffs or had been coerced into an intimate relationship with Judge Woodruff. As punishment for her perceived disloyalty or indiscretions, Woodruff allegedly ordered her ear to be cut off, leading Chloe to wear a green turban to cover the disfigurement. The legend continues with Chloe's fateful decision to seek revenge by poisoning a birthday cake intended for the Woodruff children. Tragically, Sarah Woodruff and 2 of her daughters died after consuming the cake. Consumed by guilt or exposed as the culprit, Chloe was supposedly hanged by fellow enslaved people, and her body was disposed of in the nearby river. The deaths of Sarah and her children, whether by poison or another cause, have never been definitively proven, but these events have come to symbolize the plantation's haunted past. Judge Woodruff, devastated by the loss of his wife and daughters, is said to have withdrawn from public life. Some accounts suggest that his grief contributed to the eerie atmosphere of the plantation, with guests and staff reporting unexplained phenomena tied to the memory of Sarah and the children. After the Woodruff era, the plantation changed hands several times, including a period when it was owned by Ruffin Gray Sterling, a wealthy landowner who purchased the property in 1834. Sterling made significant alterations to the estate, giving it the grandeur that visitors see today. He added the famous wraparound veranda and 22 rooms and embellished the mansion with elaborate plasterwork and crystal chandeliers. It was during Sterling's ownership that the name of the plantation was changed from Laurel Grove to Myrtles Plantation, named after the crepe myrtles that adorned the property. However, the Sterling family was not immune to the tragedies that had long plagued the estate. Of the Sterling children, only 4 of the 9 survived to adulthood, with several dying of yellow fever and other illnesses that were rampant during the period. These losses further contributed to the plantation's reputation as a place marked by sorrow and death. During the American Civil War, the Myrtles Plantation, like many estates in the South, suffered from the ravages of war. Union soldiers are said to have ransacked the house, and local legends claim that one of the soldiers was killed on the premises. His ghost is reportedly one of many that still haunt the plantation grounds. The economic devastation of the Civil War left the plantation struggling to recover, and it passed through various owners during the Reconstruction era and into the 20th century. The plantation's extensive history of death, financial hardship, and loss became fertile ground for the development of the ghost stories that would later become famous. By the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the once grand Myrtles Plantation had fallen into a state of decline. However, it was eventually restored in the 1970s by its then-owner, Arlen Diaz, who opened the estate as a bed and breakfast. Diaz's decision to promote the plantation as a haunted location sparked a renewed interest in its mysterious past, and it quickly gained a reputation as one of the most haunted houses in America. Today, Myrtles Plantation stands as a beautifully preserved piece of Southern history, offering visitors the chance to step back in time and experience the atmosphere of a bygone era. Yet, for all its beauty and historical significance, the house remains shrouded in tales of murder, mystery, and ghostly encounters. The history of the Myrtles Plantation is one of wealth and tragedy, prosperity and ruin, life and death. From its founding by a fugitive general to the heartbreaking tales of the Woodruff and Sterling families, the plantation's past is marked by both grandeur and sorrow. Whether one believes in the hauntings or not, the Myrtles Plantation remains a testament to the complex history of the American South, where beauty and tragedy have always walked hand in hand. The legend of Chloe is one of the most chilling and enduring ghost stories associated with the Myrtles Plantation. Chloe was an enslaved woman who worked in the household of Judge Clark Woodruff and his family during the early 19th century. According to legend, Chloe was not just an ordinary house servant. Her relationship with the Woodruffs was complex and fraught with tension. Some accounts claim that Chloe was forced into an illicit affair with Judge Woodruff, a common but tragic reality for many enslaved women at the time. These stories suggest that Chloe, fearing the volatile nature of her situation, became increasingly anxious about her standing in the household. In other versions of the tale, Chloe was caught eavesdropping on a private conversation between Judge Woodruff and his wife, Sarah. Whether she was listening out of curiosity or fear of missing something important remains unclear, but the consequences were severe. Enraged by her disobedience, Judge Woodruff allegedly ordered that Chloe's ear be cut off as punishment. This brutal act of violence left Chloe permanently scarred, and to conceal the disfigurement, she began wearing a green turban, a piece of clothing that has since become iconic in her ghostly appearances. The emotional toll of her precarious position within the household, coupled with the fear of further punishment, pushed Chloe toward an ill-fated decision. Some say that she wanted revenge against the Woodruffs for her mistreatment. Others believe she sought to regain her standing by making the family ill and then nursing them back to health. Whatever her motive, Chloe allegedly poisoned a birthday cake intended for the Woodruff children. Sarah Woodruff and 2 of her daughters consumed the cake, falling gravely ill. Tragically, instead of recovering, they succumbed to the poison, dying shortly after. The aftermath of this act was swift and brutal. When the other enslaved people on the plantation discovered Chloe's role in the poisoning, they feared retribution from Judge Woodruff. To protect themselves from any blame, they took justice into their own hands. Chloe was hanged, and her body was thrown into the Mississippi River, her life cut short by the same cycle of violence and oppression that had defined her existence. Despite her tragic fate, Chloe's story did not end with her death. Her spirit is said to have remained bound to the Myrtles plantation, forever haunted by guilt, anger, or a longing for redemption. Numerous visitors have reported seeing a woman wearing a green turban wandering the grounds of the plantation, particularly around the area where the plantation's infamous mirror is located. According to legend, this mirror holds more than just a reflection. It is believed to be a supernatural prison for the spirits of Sarah Woodruff and her 2 daughters, who were poisoned by Chloe. The mirror often shows strange handprints, ghostly figures, or shadowy apparitions, even after being cleaned, reinforcing the belief that the souls of the deceased are trapped within its glass. Chloe's ghost has become one of the most frequently cited apparitions at Myrtles Plantation. Descriptions of her presence vary, with some claiming to have seen her silently gliding through the hallways, while others have encountered her outside, near the trees, her figure draped in the unmistakable green turban. Some visitors report a sense of overwhelming sadness in her presence, as though she is still trapped in the suffering and fear that defined her life and death. While historical evidence of Chloe's existence is scarce and her story is largely rooted in folklore, the tale has endured through generations, captivating the imaginations of visitors and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Whether Chloe was a real person or a symbol of the plantation's dark history, her ghostly legend serves as a powerful reminder of the brutal legacy of slavery and the complex human stories that lie beneath the surface of haunted places like the Myrtles Plantation. The Myrtles Plantation has become a focal point for tales of ghostly encounters, earning a reputation as one of the most haunted houses in America. Over the years, countless guests, visitors, and even staff have reported unexplained phenomena that defy logical explanation. These paranormal experiences range from subtle sensations of being watched to full-blown apparitions that have left a lasting impression on those who claim to have seen them. The plantation's eerie atmosphere, steeped in history and tragedy, seems to create the perfect setting for such supernatural events. One of the most commonly reported phenomena at the Myrtles involves the inexplicable sound of footsteps. Visitors often describe hearing heavy footsteps echoing through the empty hallways or ascending the staircase, as though someone or something unseen is moving about the house. These footsteps are especially common near the infamous 17th step of the main staircase, where William Winter, a former owner, is said to have collapsed and died after being shot. According to legend, Winter was mortally wounded by an unknown assailant and managed to crawl back into the house, only to die on the staircase. Some visitors report hearing his labored steps, while others claim to see his ghost slowly making his way up the stairs, disappearing at the 17th step. This chilling reenactment of his final moments is just one of many ghostly spectacles that have been reported at the plantation. Another paranormal hotspot at the Myrtles Plantation is the large, ornate mirror located in the main hallway. This mirror has become the center of one of the most enduring ghost stories tied to the house. Despite being regularly cleaned and maintained, strange handprints and smudges frequently appear on its surface. What makes these marks particularly eerie is that they don't correspond to any living person who has touched the mirror, leading many to believe that they are left by the spirits trapped within. According to legend, the mirror holds the spirits of Sarah Woodruff and her 2 daughters, who were poisoned by Chloe. It is said that their souls became trapped inside the mirror after their deaths, and to this day, they are unable to move on. Visitors have reported seeing fleeting images of ghostly figures, particularly a woman and 2 children, reflected in the glass. Others claim to have witnessed the handprints slowly materializing in front of their eyes, as though the spirits are trying to reach out from within. In addition to the mirror, apparitions of children are frequently reported at the Myrtles plantation, adding to its ghostly mystique. One of the most commonly cited figures is that of a young girl, believed to be one of the Woodruff daughters, who is often seen wandering the halls or playing in the rooms. She is typically described as wearing period clothing, her appearance faded and ghostly, as though she is searching for something or someone. Many believe that she is looking for her mother, Sarah Woodruff, who died under tragic circumstances. This restless spirit of the young girl has been seen standing by the windows, looking out as if expecting her mother to return. Her presence is often accompanied by the sound of faint, disembodied laughter, as though she is caught between 2 worlds, lingering in a place where time has stood still. Other visitors have reported hearing the soft giggles of children playing, the patter of small feet running down the hallways, or the sudden sound of crying. These eerie noises seem to come from nowhere, as there are no children present during the sightings. For some, these sounds are unsettling, a stark reminder of the plantation's tragic history and the untimely deaths of Sarah Woodruff's daughters. For others, they evoke a sense of melancholy, as if the children's spirits are forever trapped in the plantation, repeating the last moments of their short lives. Beyond the Woodruff family, there have been numerous other sightings of ghostly figures at Myrtles Plantation, ranging from Confederate soldiers to unidentified women in antebellum dresses. Some visitors claim to have seen shadowy figures darting through the gardens or lingering on the veranda, disappearing the moment they are approached. These apparitions seem to be tied to the plantation's long and tumultuous history, each one a remnant of a past that refuses to be forgotten. Whether these spirits are attached to specific people or events, or are simply echoes of the many lives that passed through the plantation, they contribute to the overwhelming sense that the house is more than just a historical landmark. It is a place where the past and present seem to coexist, and where the line between the living and the dead is blurred. The Myrtles Plantation's notoriety as a haunted location has made it a popular destination for paranormal investigators, ghost hunters, and thrill seekers hoping to catch a glimpse of the otherworldly. Some visitors come with a skeptical mindset, only to leave convinced that they've experienced something unexplainable. Whether it's the sudden cold drafts, inexplicable sounds, or visual sightings, the plantation offers a wealth of paranormal activity for those brave enough to explore its haunted halls. Though skeptics argue that many of the stories are merely folklore or the product of overactive imaginations, the consistency of the reports and the sheer number of witnesses over the years suggest that something unusual may indeed linger within the walls of the Myrtles Plantation. For believers in the paranormal, this historic home is a treasure trove of ghostly phenomena, and for others, it stands as a stark reminder of the tragedies and mysteries that shape its history. In addition to Chloe and the Woodruff family, the plantation is haunted by at least 10 other spirits. One such figure is that of William Winter, an attorney who lived at Myrtles Plantation in the late 1800s. According to legend, Winter was shot by a stranger and staggered into the house, collapsing on the 17th step of the main staircase. To this day, many visitors claim to hear the sound of heavy footsteps on the stairs, ending abruptly at the 17th step. The Myrtles Plantation has attracted the attention of paranormal researchers, ghost hunters, and enthusiasts worldwide. It has been featured on television shows like Ghost Hunters and Unsolved Mysteries, and countless documentaries have chronicled its history and haunting stories. Many visitors come in hopes of encountering one of the plantation's many spirits or capturing evidence of the paranormal on camera. Whether or not one believes in ghosts, the Myrtles Plantation's long and tragic history, coupled with its atmospheric beauty, is enough to inspire both wonder and dread. The Myrtles Plantation remains one of the most intriguing haunted locations in the United States. Its combination of historical significance, tragic events, and spine-chilling legends creates a potent blend of mystery and allure. For those fascinated by tales of the supernatural or appreciate the rich history of the South, a visit to Myrtles Plantation offers a chance to step into a world where the past and present seemingly coexist, and where the spirits of the past may still linger. That's all we have for today, fellow Midnight Society members. Did this discussion spark some chills down your spine? Who or what should we investigate next? We thrive on your insights, so don't be a stranger. Let us know your thoughts below. And hey, if you enjoyed this chronicle, smash that like button and subscribe for more spooky explorations. Sharing the darkness is always encouraged, so spread the word by sharing this video. Until next time, keep those flashlights charged and your curiosity burning bright. Midnight Society, The Bradford Chronicles.